What's up everyone, Sean from ARTV. It's time for a review of the fourth album, at least the fourth album of original material by comedy duo Ninja Sex Party. This album is titled Cool Patrol, and you might know the duo for working with Game Grumps, having Markiplier, Jacksepticeye in videos. They've definitely gained a lot of notoriety, so what's it all about? This review, of course, was a Patreon requested one, and I have looked at Ninja Sex Party in the past, and I checked out their Under the Covers album. I was somewhat impressed with their takes on some of the tunes, but overall, wasn't exactly keen on checking out more. I understood, I guess, kind of what they were going for, but I didn't know a ton about the band's comedic roots. They started in 2009, and they have released a lot of material, including a trilogy of Under the Cover albums. I believe the third one is on the way next year. And overall, the appeal, especially once I checked out this album, Cool Patrol, is definitely kind of lost on me in some regards. The band has this epic feeling to them of like 80s music, over the top, and just outlandishness, at least in terms of their comedy, sex jokes, murder, over-the-top things that are played up in an obvious comedic fashion. It's nothing to obviously be like, oh wow, I'm offended by this or anything. It's just that comedy is so subjective. It's so true. It's been said a million times, but comedy is subjective. What's funny to you might not be so funny to me, especially not without visual representation. Obviously, from that description that I gave before, you can probably tell that the tone of this album is obviously comedic. It's meant to be zany. It's meant to just be ridiculous. It's meant to kind of give belly laughs to those that would belly laugh over things like this. It brings a few chuckles, especially some of the jokes, some of the punchlines, but honestly, this album is hard to listen to without the music videos. And I listened to this album 3 or 4 times without seeing any videos, and I just felt like I was lost in space. It's something where they have these epic tendencies musically, where they're just going hard on the guitar or the synthesizers, and definitely reminding me of some of the things that I do like about 80s sounding music. Synthwave, also alternative, rock, everything like that. But musically, I can't help but feel like the majority of this album is very standard. It's hard for me to review an album like this because I feel so out of my element, so out of my league, especially when I know that tons and tons and tons, in fact, millions of people that watch their music videos find them very, very funny. But it's not really for me. I like bands like The Lonely Island, that comedy group there, Jared Alonji, Weird Al Yankovic, and I look to them and I find comedy in the music itself. You can listen to them without seeing a music video, a lyric video, some form of visual representation. But it's hard for me to talk about this because I just feel a bit awkward because I feel like I'm stepping on toes and eggshells talking about the fact that I don't find it funny, but I could easily see why some people, whether they be younger, middle-aged, and they get some of the 80s throwbacks, whatever, would find it funny, but I'm just struggling over here. I'll get some of the transition tracks out of the way first. Songs like GFY, which stands for Go Fuck Yourself, is played in a marching band style and simply did not make me laugh, even though I get what it was going for. It's been said so many times. It's one of those many regurgitated jokes from this album that I just don't find that amusing. I got the appeal, or I guess the understanding of First Date right away. It's like, oh wow, we started out and we're out on a date and it's going great, it's new, it's this new thing, and oh wait, oh now we're gonna steal a car, oh now we're gonna kill some guys. And I looked into it, I get that Ninja Brian, the keyboardist of the duo, has this tendency to like comedically go on murdering sprees or whatever for the sake of over-the-top comedy. And here, it just plays out like something that I've heard so many times. Like, I think back to a song like Everything You Know Is Wrong by Weird Al, where things progressively get weirder and wilder, except that song's actually fun. This one just feels to me like so safe in some ways because the joke has already been made, and it's like people found it funny for these scenarios, so it's gonna be funny here. There's also some of those other short transitory songs, I guess I would say, or else some of the more spoken word ones like Romance Novel that I just don't really find to be very good at all. romance novel is literally where Danny Sexbang, the lead singer, is reading and keeps getting interrupted, and I would be lying if I said I cared at all about it. Yes, some of these songs like Cool Patrol, Danny Don't You Know, Orgy For One are definitely better and make more sense for me once I see the music videos. And I did see the music videos, I had a few laughs, and I will say, Danny Don't You Know, a genuinely great, badass song talking about the fact that this kid, aka the younger version of himself, played by Finn Wolfhard of Stranger Things fame, of course, in the music video, is going to grow up to be awesome because he's leading this band, Ninja Sex Party, but at the time, he's just getting bullied, he's having no luck with girls, etc., etc. But the song is actually pretty badass. There's a great solo on there, and the way that things are so over the top vocally, the layering and everything there, it's kind of fantastic. It's a magical experience, and I do love that song. Orgy For One is catchy, but just the kind of juvenile humor that I guess I'm not super interested in anymore. I mean, like I said, it gets stuck in my head, but it's also feeling very similar to other stuff that I've already heard, but done in a more creative, clever, funny way, you name it. It sounds better from somebody else, at least in the world of comedy. I didn't mean to come here and shit all over this album because I understand once again that it is subjective. It is opinion based. Everybody feels differently. But I just don't have much to say about this album. I feel like I've already said way too much because I'm trying to search for things to say. So I'm sorry about that. I didn't find this album very funny. I think, like I said, it sounds just fine. There actually are some musical moments that I really do like. Anything from Mansion Party, which had a kind of nice vibe to it that did feel kind of familiar in some ways, but still. The parts of Cool Patrol that I liked. The title track, that is, Danny Don't You Know, being badass. First Date sounding okay from a vocals point of view. I mean, Danny Sexbang is definitely competent, and his vocals are great. The keyboards sound nice, but overall, it just feels pretty run-of-the-mill to me. A few laughs, but it's not worth it overall. So I cannot give this more than a 2 out of 5. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry that was kind of confusing and probably a little bit too long, but I was just kind of searching for thoughts to put together on this album because it was very hard, like I said, to review. Anyways, if you want to see my thoughts on their Under the Covers project, there's a review roundup here that I covered it in, or another recent video here. Socials in the description, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.